Okay, so this is video number 1 in what I hope to be a series of instructional keto recipes or snacks or whatever, just what I'm doing. Right now, after my afternoon workout, which included a 3-mile bike ride to the gym, doing legs, and then a 3-mile bike ride back. It's not as bad as as it sounds. I'm gonna have lunch at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been intermittent fasting since about 8 o'clock last night. This is probably going to be my biggest meal of the day. Come around dinner time, I'm probably only going to snack on like some cheese and deli meats or whatnot. So this is my big meal. Anyways, so let's take a look at what I'm doing. So right now I've got some chicken wings in the air fryer, and I'm going to season it. I'm going to stir them up a little bit. It's been 10 minutes, and what I'm doing is putting them in the air fryer. I'm going to season them a little bit more. I'm going to show you the seasoning I'm using. This is carne asada. It's really salty, so be sparingly. But as you can see on the label, 0 carbs, so there's no sugars or anything. They will sneak sugars in your seasonings, especially barbecue stuff, so be careful there. I've already given them a light seasoning before I put them in, and I put them in on 360 for 36 minutes. And now I'm just re-seasoning them after about 10 minutes, shaking them up so they don't stick to the catch pan, and then throwing them back in there. As you can see, we've got about 23 minutes left on that. Now, in addition to my chicken wings, here's my protein shake. Now, it's important, and this is where I went wrong the first time I did keto, is that I wanted to build muscle mass, or I wanted to protect my muscle mass. But I didn't do the proper amount of research and realized that keto doesn't eat away your muscle mass. As crazy as it sounds, it goes against almost every heart health guideline they have given us for 20, 30, 40 years, right? Which is cholesterol, fats, and sodium. Well, when you're doing keto, that fat is your fuel, right? You're not using carbohydrates anymore, so you have to have those fats. And it's not just your body fat that's going to provide those for you. I don't think you can actually eat enough fats to provide all, because it's not just about physical activity. Most of us that are doing keto are interested in being in peak physical condition. So more than likely, you're also going to be exercising, right? So it's not just the physical aspect that your fats are powering, but it's your brain. And that's happening when you're sleeping. That's when you're just getting up out of a chair. So you need a lot of fats, right? It's still going, when you become fat adapted or keto adapted, you're still going to burn your body fat. Your metabolism is still going to dip into those reserves, but you have to have those fats. Now, reason I went on that tangent was because first time I did keto, it was all about the protein. Lean chicken breasts and salmon and protein shakes with no carbs or whatever, but I wasn't getting all these other benefits from keto, like all this extra energy and all this feeling of satiety, or I don't know if I said that right, but feeling full and brain power and like my brain working faster, because I wasn't taking in enough fat. I was 80% protein, 20% fat, 5 to 0% carbohydrates. The fats and the protein have to be flipped. You can continue taking in protein, and protein is necessary for just building muscle and getting stronger, right? So you have to have your protein, but I got to make a protein shake that's fatty too. So here's what I'm doing with no carbs. I'm using My Protein Impact Whey Isolate, which according to consumerlabs.com is probably the purest protein supplement out there, meaning the label accuracy is good. They didn't find heavy metals or any sort of other possible additives in there. So this is one of the best whey protein isolates that you can get out there. And of course, almost, there's all kinds of proteins out there. There's hemp protein, and there's, whey protein, and casein, and all this other. I'd say it's probably a majority that swear by whey protein. So whey protein's pretty good. And then I'm gonna mix that with some almond milk, unsweetened vanilla. And as you can see, that has 0 sugars in it. It's got 1 carb, but the sugar's the thing we're trying to stay away from here. But I am going to count that carb as my total carbs. And then, of course, heavy whipping cream. Believe it or not, look at this. We got 0 sugars, or wait a minute, less than 1 gram of sugar. But we got 5 grams of fat, 3.5 grams of saturated fat. So this is what's adding a little bit of fat to my protein shake. And then finally, now if I mix all this together, it's going to be kind of bland. There's not going to be much taste to it because most of it's just unflavored, right? So I'm going to add these, which I've had for a long time, but I haven't used much of. Now these are stevia-based sweeteners. This one is English toffee. I used the vanilla cream yesterday, which is really good, as long as you don't overdo it. If you put a lot of this in there, you'll get that that artificial sweetener aftertaste. I can't stand that. That's just not for me. But what I recommend is maybe anywhere between 6 to 8 drops of this stuff in there. It's going to give it just a mild sweetness and flavoring. And then of course this, because it's made from stevia again, is well, it's not coming in focus here, is dietarily, I'm making up words for this video, it's really made for, like diabetics, and the intent is not to have an insulin response. The insulin response is then, of course, what kicks you out of, it can kick you out of ketosis and makes you more insulin resistant, which we don't want. One of the benefits of the ketogenic diet is to get yourself as far away from type 1 diabetes as possible. And the way to do that is to become less insulin resistant or more insulin sensitive. So that's what I'm gonna do. Finally, I'm gonna stir my chicken wings again. Get all that fat. I think they're seasoned enough. I'm not gonna add any more seasoning. Like I said, that stuff can be kind of salty. And then finally, my secret recipe for the buffalo wings is pretty simple. Frank's Red Hot, which if we look at the labels, let's see here, we've got 0 carbohydrates, right? So no sugar in there. And then about 3 tablespoons of butter. Sorry, pausing there. I'm just gonna use just regular good old salted butter. One thing to watch out for is that in the first week of ketosis, you're probably going to drop a lot of water weight. And in doing so, you need to stay extremely hydrated. The best way to stay hydrated is not only just keep pounding water, but also make sure that you're balancing electrolytes as well. So you're going to want things that and we all know that probably the most effective electrolyte is sodium. It's also medically and scientifically proven that people who on the ketogenic diet for long periods of time, their sodium levels, their high blood pressure, their HDL, their LDL, their free-flowing triglycerides, their cholesterol levels, their insulin, all those things go in the direction that your doctor wants to see. Remember, the ketogenic diet is not a fad diet. It's actually a medical diet. It was designed over 100 years ago to help treat epilepsy that was not responding to medicine. So it just so happens to have benefits for all of us. So anyways, that's going to be my lunch, and I'm going to sign off here. Bye.